All right. Thank you, ladies, for joining me here today. Sisterhood Session live on the recording wherever you are. This morning, here in ISO Prosperity Sisterhood, I want to talk about resets and check-ins. Sometimes we go so hard on doing the thing and just pumping that through. And yet, sometimes we lose sight of the vision, mission, and values. Sometimes we lose sight of ourselves. Sometimes we find ourselves in burnout, not knowing what straw to pull. And so that's why rhythms and reasons within your season are very important. So when we think about check-ins and resets, what are some different areas that can help us grow in a way that is sustainable and allows us to not lose sight, right, of that vision that God has put on our hearts? And so I think about resets, and I think of the resilience map that I share here often, that we walk through in our sisterhood handbook, something that is shared in the identity-based planning method. And that is all of those things that help us to reset, whether it's a rhythm, whether it's that piece that says, oh, that's what would feel good right now. When we know what our resets are, that becomes something that allows us to move forward, to take the next right step. Then, when we look at the idea of check-ins, sometimes, especially because we have all these cool systems available at our fingertips to create and just drive, if we're not checking in and being the checks and balances, I'm like holding the reins. But if we are not checking in, that rhythm is replaced by a momentum that is not necessarily unstoppable, but it is just a lot. And you bucked them off. Well, you better go see if they're okay. When we present ourselves with a check-in, it can be a breath of fresh air. It can be something that stops us, helps us to zoom out. I talk about zooming out a lot. It helps us to zoom out. I'm doing this, right? It helps us to zoom out and to say, oh, hey, this little pocket of existence that I'm in is why I'm feeling this way. And so let's zoom out, let's zoom out, let's zoom out and say, okay, how do I move forward in something that's more right and true to who I am and who I want to be and who I'm becoming and all of that? Where do my rhythms fit into this? Why? Like answer, like, why does this feel this way? Or why does this look this way? Kind of attacking on some of those reasons, not to justify anything, but to check in. And I really think check-ins are a place where we can be ourselves. We can be real with the reasons and the seasons, right? And it's where we can re-plug in those resets and the rhythms. And so I think of a couple areas where check-ins are common, and then like why. So you have monthly check-ins, and you have quarterly reviews, and right. And I think of check-ins as I was thinking about this topic this morning, I thought, that's why I put check-ins in my guided journal, Anchoring Amidst. Because when we have check-ins, it's that space that is like this no judgment zone. It goes deeper into the reasons and the seasons and the rhythms and the resets and the whys and the hows. And it allows us to zoom out. Whereas like each of the guided prompts is just a little pocket, right? It's just that little pocket. And so when we can zoom out and check in like for real, it becomes something that is useful. The other piece that I think of in this discussion, in this topic, is so I've set into my rhythm where in that rhythm, I have a date that I know is a place in my cycle, in my ecosystem that says, you know what, this day feels really good in a way that allows me to reset everything in my ecosystem. Now, I don't go through the 7-page checklist of everything that needs to be cleaned or washed or rearranged or whatever, because I've picked through that through the month. And so this reset is like, okay, what's neglected, what got missed, and it really just helps me do a mini brain dump. We do this a lot, or every time we walk through identity-based planning, is that align method allows us to kind of lay it all out. And that can be a version of a reset. And so when I'm laying this all out on my reset day, I'm writing the lists. I'm writing lists for the house, the groceries, the things I need to buy online, the this, the that. I'm writing all those things out. I'm doing that mini brain dump every single month at minimum. In a bigger way on that reset day, so that I can go on, right? When we are human, and in today's day and age, we sometimes maybe think we're superhuman or something. And so remembering that we are human and we are not designed to hold all those lists and all those things we missed and all the check boxes we didn't check. And like, we're not designed to hold all of that. That doesn't allow for presence. That doesn't allow for like our rhythms to actually take hold. And so those reset days are days that allow us to find a place for stewardship and to find a place for maybe all the things that we've been carrying that don't necessarily need to be carried, they just need to get done. And so those resets, finding a place every month that feels, as a woman, I've noticed this reset day is a day where I feel like it's a nesting day where I'm just getting everything done, right? And so finding that day in your cycle that feels careful and caring to yourself, stewarding what you have around you, and doing the next right thing, that is a reset. And sometimes we don't know we need a reset until we do a check-in. So I want to give that to you today. I want to remind you that your resets and your check-ins are so, so important. Just ask yourself, what do I need today? Do I need a reset? Do I need to check in? Do I need to zoom out? Do I need to get something done? What are those things? How can we plug in those rhythms? How can we plug in our vision, mission, and values so that getting stuff done feels even better than we thought it could? What are those for you? So with that, we're going to go into our live discussion and we're going to talk about it. See which one you need and how we can help you. Because within sisterhood, we are all about positive peer pressure. So without further ado, here we go.